Yeah. And Jason Doyle, one of the YBB coaches. Bravo, standing ovation. So today we're going to go over part 2 of kind of the Build Your Dream Yoga Business training. And so the goal here is it's all about goal setting. So you want to figure out, what are your 1-year goals? What are your 90-day goals? And then break them down kind of accordingly. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to do a screen share here. And let's see here. Can you guys see all of our screens? Can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
All righty. So through day 2. So if you guys didn't do day 1, we did it last Friday. We're going to do another training next Friday as well. Day 1, you built out your profit playbook. So we talked about, your transformation statement, your most profitable keywords, your proximity partners, your pain points, and then the products you can sell at different price points. So like what's free and then what's, super expensive. So we went through all that, really quick. So now we're working on building out your goals. So we're going to start with step-by-step here. And, if you like taking notes, get a piece of paper out, answer these questions for you. And then we're going to have Jack and Jason kind of answer them as we go here. So here are the YBB3. So again, the first document's the profit playbook. The second document's 1-year visions, and then we have 90-day goals where we break them down a little bit after that. So today we're going to be talking about this, and we're starting with your 1-year vision, Jack. So Jack, I'm going to put you on the spot here in a second. So when we talk about your 1-year vision for your business, the way that we like to think about it is you have your wheel of life. So this is something Tony Robbins teaches. It's been really powerful for me. We like to use this concept just because it's visually really good. So you've got finances, you've got your family, you've got your career, your fitness, your spirituality, and you've got your yoga business. So that's just one sliver of your life. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, Jack, where would you say that your yoga business is right now, sort of today? Oops, I'll jump back over here.
Yeah, great question. Well, I have to answer that by sharing, because of spending the past 1.5 years with you guys, with Jason and Leland, our business is like better than I ever could have imagined it. Just the fact that we're able to help and serve so many people from the comfort of home. So it's way beyond what I thought it could possibly be. But obviously, as I sit here now and look forward through the rest of the year, I would give it I'd give it a 7. I'd give it a 7 because there's lots of room to grow.
Perfect. Yeah, 7. So, and that's good. Everybody's going to be different. And so Jack says right now he's a 7. And so where do you want to be? And I know I probably could guess Jack's answer. Just we've been friends for a while. But Jack, where do you want to be with your business?
10. Absolutely a 10. Yes.
All right. So what does a 10 look like for you?
A 10 for us looks like 1,000 members. So we a little bit of background. We used to do all live retreats and trainings. Then COVID happened, so we pivoted online thanks to you guys, YBB. And so we started off this year with 250 members. And our goal by the end of this year is to get to 1,000. So that would be, and again, I'm feeling as a 7 with 250 because we're really pleased with doing that in just a few months. And now the goal is 1,000.
Yeah, and you might have said, but just so everybody that does not know Jack runs Happy Jack Yoga University, and your transformation statement was, what did we talk about last week? What was the clarity with your transformation statement?
It's get all your yoga certifications online.
Perfect, right? And so Jack's basically 180 degree, I guess 180 total pivot, and has just been crushing it this year. So awesome. So target monthly income 4 is what we like to. So your TMI, what's your target monthly income? And so people can define this differently. If you're motivated by money, or if you're, if you want, $5,000 and that would cover your entire family expenses, and that's your goal, then you want to know what your target monthly income is. Now, if you guys listen, Jack just described one of his goals in terms of members, right? And that's totally fine if you want. If you want 1,000 people that are under your certification. But if you're new, right, it's really good to have clarity on what's your target monthly income. Like what's a financial goal that if you were to hit that every month, you'd be satisfied with. And so, but everybody's different. So Jack, we don't need to talk finances. I know your goal is 1,000 members at the end of the year. And that's all we need sort of to go forward with the next step. And then next I want to talk about your perfect 24 hours. So your perfect 24 hours is when you wake up, right? How's your day going to be spent? So if you're a yoga coach or if you're a business owner, again, your business is designed to serve your life, right? It's not the other way around. So you want to design your business around improving your life, and that's going to be different for different people. So Jack, when you look at your perfect 24 hours, how are you waking up? How are you spending time in the business with employees, with clients, with coaches? What's like your perfect day look like?
Yeah, great question. I'm close to getting there. It starts with getting enough sleep, 8 hours, 7.5, 8 hours sleep. I get up each morning, 4:30 a.m. I know Jason's part of the 5 a.m. club. I do 4:30. And from 4:30 a.m. until 8, that's my practices, my meditation, my pranayama, my mantra, my yoga, my fitness, my nutrition. And I get it. It took me 40 years to be able to carve out that amount of time, but that's where I'm at now. 3.5 hours for everything self-nourishment. And then 8 a.m., day kicks off. The first 2 hours is creative time. So whether that's recording videos, writing emails, before I open social media, it's diving in and doing what matters most, the most important tasks. And then really 10 a.m. the day starts. What I love most is being on calls like this and coaching and connecting and working with our community. I just got off a call. We're leading pranayama, mantra, and mudras. It was like incredible, outstanding. And that's what lights me up. That's what lights me up and fires me up. And a certain amount of time has to be spent doing the business side of the business, the marketing, the writing, and I would say that's where I'm still falling a bit short. I need some more resources there because a lot of that's falling on me, which it does, at this stage of business. But I guess to answer your question, it's like taking care. It's like doing all my practices. It's doing the most important tasks, the creative work, the videos, the emails, then connecting with our community. And then I guess the last part, but it's necessary and I still enjoy it, is the business stuff.
Absolutely. So that's great. All right. So that gives us some good clarity. So let's, if you're ready, and those who are watching, write down your 1-year vision. So it can be bullet points. It can be a paragraph. My wife, Sarah, has a really long vision statement. It's actually right there. Very long, clear division. I actually draw in like little stick figures sometimes, but whatever, works for you, write down a couple bullet points, get a good idea of what your core vision is. Because this is what we're going to start with. And again, the questions you want to ask yourself, what's your, where are you now? Where do you want to be? What's your perfect 10 look like? What's your target monthly income? And then what's your perfect 24? Cool. Jason, any comments or anything before we jump over to the goals? I know you've done this process a couple times.
No, I'm loving hearing what Jeff's got to say, and just like the good point you made on the target monthly income is like, it's really just, it's one or the other. Like you can just figure out what you want to make and then you can break it down. I like to be actually motivated by members as well, just because I feel like it's more tangible and it just feels nice to kind of think in that respect if you have a membership. Not that necessarily everyone has a membership to succeed. So
yeah, and if you can make the finances work, right? So we've talked about just having the business IQ to make the finances work. So 90-day goals. So Jack, what when you think about 90-day goals for you or for your business, or even for you do some of the coaching, 90-day goals, how do you think about creating 90-day goals for yourself?
It's a great question, because I know I used to just think kind of the bigger goals, and I'd set these big wild ass goals, and I was over exaggerating and I wasn't hitting them. So that obviously was not serving. And so now by breaking it down with the 90-day goals, so for this year, started the year at 250. So at the end of first quarter, at the end of the first quarter, we want to be at 500, then 750, then 1,000. It's kind of how you chunk it down. And I also think of it in my head. I don't. We're not teaching this necessarily, but I also think 100 new members per month which essentially is kind of like 3 new members per day. So I get a sense if I'm on par.
Yeah, perfect. And then you can recalibrate, right? So that's the biggest thing is most people don't want to measure because then you have to measure and you can, am I failing or am I succeeding? The other thing that you brought up that comes to mind is I used to be, and I still have a tendency to do this, set these massive, really, really, moonshot goals where even if you fall short, like you've gone tremendous amount in the right direction. And so you've got momentum. But the psychology of getting your butt kicked by goals over and over again versus the psychology of making just a little bit of progress. Now I personally try to set really, really small goals and, what can I do within my reach, right? With that 90-day goal, just because I used to be, very similar, set these huge, massive goals. And then, you still make good progress, but you don't feel as good about yourself and you want to set up life so you feel good.
And also there's a teacher of ours, Leland, Keith Cunningham. He talks about, he did not even use the word goal so much, but standard, sets a standard like, hey, what is something, it's meaningful and it's realistic. And this just becomes, it's a non-negotiable, it's a must, to balance out and still have those big goals. Great distinctions.
Yeah. So I know Jack and I could probably talk about goal setting.
I think there's one more thing I'll add to that is what Leland, and we say it a lot to the group and I love how Jack distills it down to 3 members a day. Well, now, or 3 members of whatever it was, a day or whatever it was. Yeah. So, but the point is don't mistake, we say this a lot, don't mistake slow progress for no progress. Because when you break it down and then you understand, oh man, I'm not really getting 1,000. That's such a big amount. I'm not getting there. Well, actually you probably are. But if you really do the math, you kind of distill it down. You're like, slow progress is still progress. And so if you have the numbers in front of you, then it makes more sense. And I love looking at it like that.
Yep. Something else I'll just add in too, it's going to go in waves and flows. I'm sure, for example, Sarah Beth Yoga, you grow your business to a certain level and so much is happening automatic. And that's beautiful. And that's all of our goals. And I can still speak for myself. There's periods of exponential, explosive growth in membership. And then all of a sudden we put all our focus on course creation and taking care of our community, and sales plateau and even dip, because a couple of people drop off and it's like, oh my goodness, we're putting so much love in the community and then which they love. And then the focus comes back to growing. And I've been at it for 10 years and it's still about finding a balance. But what we're talking about here, and certainly what we teach at the YBB, is getting these things automated, which that's the beautiful part.
Yeah, well, and I can't help myself, but I'm going to chime in too, just because with the 90-day goals and with what Jack's saying about, focusing on the members marketing, understanding tent poles and understanding marketing cycles and sales spikes in your business is really powerful. So if you don't know what a sales spike is, over the course of a year, think of a year like an entire cycle, there's going to be times where there's just these big sales. Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's, every country's a little bit, but you're going to have one in your business. So if you know those, then you can plan your marketing really, effectively there. And then you can know when you're going to be able to focus time on the members and you're going to know when you're going to be able to market. A lot of times when people get started, they're spinning plates, right? That's how they think of it. And then the member plate falls and then they start spinning the marketing plate and then they keep going back and forth. And so understanding tent poles can relieve, or sales spikes, same thing, can relieve a lot of the stress for people that as you build your business, because there's going to be times where you market and you need to market and you can know that. And just so you can plan a little bit more effectively, right? Yeah. So let's talk about resources. So the goal of the resources section. So as you're writing down your goals, you want to have a big list of resources or ways that you can achieve your goals, because you're going to get stuck and you're going to get stuck. And when you get stuck, you need to figure out, where can I go to get unstuck? And so resources, there's lots of books we recommend, Russell Brunson, there's tons of internet marketers. Russell Brunson's got some good ones. There's YouTube videos, there's Google searches, there's Facebook groups, courses, etc. So Jack, when you, present company excluded, because we talk a lot, but besides, the YBB, well, you talk about the YBB too, but who are some of the resources that you use when you get stuck a little bit? And how do you think about building out your resources section? So, so you can have people that you can go to answer questions when you have them.
Yeah, great question. I mean, honestly, like straight up, even though I'm a part of it, and this is where we are right now, but the number one resource is the YBB. And it's whether it's, for you, Leland, who was my original mentor in this realm, or now the team of coaches with Jason and everyone else, or for that matter, all of the participants, right? Because now all of a sudden we got like our own little mastermind, a group of people who love yoga and love to share their passion and want to spread it with the world, and they're working on the business side of things. So for sure, the number one resource is here. In addition, I got tons of books. My not even a goal, my standard for this year is to read a book a week. So by the way, I get up at 4:30 in the morning. Part of that 3.5 hour practice is 1 hour of reading. And so, sometimes I read yoga and spirituality. Sometimes I read business, leadership, marketing, copywriting, whatever I need to work on at the moment. So books, who is it? Somebody says that leaders are readers. So books is one who I spend time with. I mean, they say, right, Tony Robbins says you become the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I'll tell you, there's lots of yoga teachers out there who are beautiful, beautiful souls, and they're struggling. And there's lots of people in whatever industry who are struggling. And I choose to be on calls like this and be in conversations like this with people who are setting moonshot goals and going for it and taking risks and going live and putting stuff out there. So I agree with everything you've got here on the list. I could say YouTube and Google and Facebook and all of that. And the biggest thing is my peers, my mentors, and my biggest resource, I guess, is books.
Yeah, one of the things that Jack does a great job, just from my perspective, is he hangs around. You have to take advice from people who are walking the path or are really, are crushing it at a really high level. So like, I know when you were at West Palm Beach and you were down, working with Tony and his team, and you're with Billy Beck and Brian Clement, those are 2 people that are in the health and fitness realm, are, in my opinion, like, rock stars, right? They're the ones that people should be screaming and like cheering for. And so I would say that one of the things that's led to Jack's success is that, and as a principle, is that you want to choose your resources wisely, because who you learn from will trump, the quality of what you're studying will trump the quantity of reading a bunch, right? So ask who are the really good people to learn from, and ask who are the people that you probably shouldn't learn from, because there's some people that for resources that can actually can set things up in a way that might not be the most beneficial long term. So resources, make a big list of the resources that and then let's talk. We're going to try to pick up the pace here. So your why. So we'll just talk about the why over here. So the why that you have is, we broke this down into mating and money and material things. So those money and material things, your why is your motivator, right? So you can be motivated by money or material things. You can be motivated by mating or family. You can be motivated by mastery. You can be motivated by time freedom. You can be motivated by passive revenue. And those are the most common. Everybody's motivated. You can be motivated by your kids' college, by your down payment on your house, right? Buying your house, buying real estate. Whatever your kind of core motivation is, that's the wind in your sail. Because as things get more challenging in your goals, and as things get hard, you want to know the things that you're doing. You want to know why you're doing all of the things, right? You want to know why are you studying YouTube algorithms? Well, it's because you want to, pay for your kids' college, and that's the stuff that you want to actually have on your sheet when you're setting out your goals. So Jack, what's the wind in your sail?
Yeah, for me right now, truthfully, it's impact and being able to share what I love with others. To be truthful, for the most of the stage, it was the motivator was money. I wanted to earn enough to be able to live a comfortable life as a yoga teacher. And now, because of the YBB, because of creating this membership, even in those times when it plateaus and we're not getting new members, the cool thing is the 250 existing members are providing, consistent monthly recurring revenue. So now that we can live comfortably and do what we love, the biggest motivator is impact. Just seeing the student, just like I said right before this, I mean, students who are like breaking down in tears of happiness and joy, and just like seeing them so excited about their life. That's what I love. And so we got 250 people. We need 1,000 and then thousands, and just keep going from there. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Nice impact. Yeah. And and I know we went to India with you. So I've been a part of your live trainings. They're incredible, right? It was, it took us from really good friends, because we met at Business Mastery, to just diehards. So one of the things that I wanted to point out is that, yes, you've got these members who have helped, build some recurring revenue, but those members are getting tons of value. I mean, I'm on your coaching calls. They're getting incredible value in exchange for the university. And so for people who are a little bit shy or timid about getting started or new, like, the focus is always on adding value. If you fail to add value, you're going to fail. So your goal should just be to add so much value all the time that it's just a habit. And then money will come as a byproduct, right? And I know that's like, it's half like spiritual, right? Just give, and the money will come. But it's also, in truth, like, if you build up that reputation of just being somebody who gets results and adds value, people will find you and people will sign up for your services. And so just a compliment to you, Jack, that your courses and your programs are incredible. They do transform lives. And and impact, though. But knowing impact's really important. So let's talk about roles. This is, if you've ever been to like a Tony Robbins event, every once in a while, he'll talk about something where you can feel the entire energy in the room drop. And then he'll like play the music and get everybody really excited. So lots of times roles is for people. So when you look at roles are like, in order to achieve your 1-year goals, what are the tasks that you are going to need to do? What are the different hats that you need to wear in your business in order to hit those goals? And when you get started, when you're a beginner, a lot of times you're wearing all the hats, especially as an internet marketer. And then the goal is to kind of take off a hat and then put it on another person and then take off a hat. And then eventually you're not stuck with. You have the hat on that you want to be wearing like the most. So Jack, as you've kind of transitioned from retreats to the university, what are the roles that you guys have in your business, or what are the roles that you need to have in your business to achieve your 90-day, 1-year goals?
Yeah, great question. So I've had to wear all of the hats for sure and step into all the roles, and sometimes I still do. At this point now, we've got a team that helps with the technical stuff. We've got my wife, Hanna, who does a lot of the creative work, so she can do the visuals and the photos and slides for our course creation. And I'm still taking the primary responsibility on like the talking head video creation and the email writing, because it's so important and I enjoy it, and I really want to master it before I hand it off to another team member. So I'm at a place where, and even though we've brought on a mutual friend of ours, Leland, a guy named Ben, who's a rock star at copywriting, and he's helped out with some stuff. I guess I want to master it myself before I just, outsource everything. But I would say the key, exactly what you've got there, is like creating the content, it's writing the emails, and then handling the technical stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, we talk a lot about having as little as possible with the technical stuff. So for people who are, you as little as necessary, as little as needed. So, but keep track
of that. Like what you and I both have discovered is this Kajabi platform, right? It's like before we had to do all of that manually and trying to link MailChimp and PayPal and all these different things together. And so Kajabi's been a lifesaver it's almost like hiring another individual. It's like hiring another person who's, the online 24-hour salesperson doing 5-day challenges and sending out email sequences. So I feel like that's been a role.
Yeah. Well, I think, even the technical stuff being a category, part of it's just figuring out what do you need? What's your software? What should you use? Because like technology is leverage. So the reason the internet's so powerful is because you can, with the right software, you can have massive leverage. Meaning you can send an email out to 1 million people or 100,000 people or even 10 people, with software. And so the more leverage you get, and that Kajabi is a form of leverage. Internet marketing, email lists, all that, YouTube channels, Facebook, those are all forms of leverage. But if you can't thread all that together in a cohesive business, which is actually a little bit more challenging and complicated than, as you get your business going, it gets more complicated, right? Jack, we've learned that. So one of the reasons why we like Kajabi is because of its simplicity, not because of its, exactly like your point, it's leverage and it's really simple, and then you can get it done and then get the technical stuff out of the way so you can focus on adding value. Yeah, I'm like, as a technology, online, internet marketing business coach, I am, not anti-technology, but I'm very much anti as much as possible because it distracts from adding value, because you should be focusing on adding value in your transformation. So let's jump over to potential actions. So the goal with potential actions is everybody's going to be a little bit different based on, your goals, right? But you want a big list of actions that you can create to then move your goals forward or move your 90-day, or to get closer to your 90-day or your 1 year goals. So one of the, these are just brainstorm ones that we wrote down. So if you haven't, fill out your profit playbook, brainstorm the transformation statements, find your most profitable keywords. Again, this is all stuff we went over in last week. And we have it all. We have a training below this video. We'll have a link below this video that goes through all this if you want to do it. Your easy Amazon research strategy, brainstorm products to sell. This is all profit playbook stuff. And then there's a long list. If you don't know what action items you can take, maybe it's talk to a yoga coach, or maybe it's watch some more YouTube videos to figure out, or read a marketing book. But you want to have a big list of things. So when you get stuck, you can say, okay, what can I do that I know is on my list that moves me forward? And that's what we'll sort out the details of how to break this down into, more organized. But for now, just brain dump everything you can think about that you could potentially do. And so, Jack, just a couple quick action items that you're thinking about for your 90-day, for your 1 year goals that you could do. And I know you've done a lot of them, so feel free to talk about, some real examples that you have coming up.
Yeah, the two big ones that come to mind. So we're so pleased with where we're at right now. And the one thing we recognize is that we need to grow the size of the top of the funnel and get more leads. And so the way that we're going to do that is to get lead generators and opt-ins. So we're now working on 3 different lead generators, which are, essentially a free gift to solve a problem. And, we get people to opt in, we solve their problem, we add a ton of value, and then we give them an opportunity to join us. So essentially growing the number of leads, that was another goal. Like, say we've got close to 10,000 emails. I'm setting a moonshot goal of 100,000 emails by the end of this year, which is like, that's big. That's 10x. And, I want to get some things in place to start growing that through Facebook advertisement, through Instagram ad, and really get some lead gen that works. The second really big goal that we've identified is with our existing list of 10,000. Well, why are those 10,000 people who have met me in person? They've connected with me at a yoga festival or a yoga conference or a retreat. Why are they not yet part of the university, our membership essentially? And so we need to have a stepping stone from the mailing list to the $2,000 high-end offer. We need to have a really low-end offer for people to join. So we're working on a $27, essentially it's a 2-day, $27 mini training to give them a taste. So they get to jump into Zoom with me. I get to coach them. I get to train them, teach them. They get to connect with the community for $27. And then for those who love that, we upsell them to really our primary offer, the membership. So yeah, we've got a big list, but those are the 2 big ones right now.
Wonderful. I get so excited hearing about the next couple steps, because I think all that stuff's really fun. So if you've been following along, you should have all this stuff thought about, completed, written down. Obviously I'm a big fan of writing things down with colored blank pieces of paper. And so write it down, have a 1 year vision, have your 90-day goals, have your resources, know what roles you might need. Yeah. And, sorry, I had a little echo there. know your whys, know what motivates you, and then have a big list of potential action items. And so if you're following along, you should have both of these two documents done. So this is the profit playbook. This was last week. And then the 1 year visions right here. And anything else about these two documents before we talk about the next thing here?
I'll just say one thing is that this is like planning your quarter goals, your 90 days, your 1 year. It can be intimidating to like plan your life. I know I was just doing this a few weeks back for a different business, and I was like, man, I hope I'm saying the right answers. There's no right or wrong answers, and this stuff will change, especially in the whys. Maybe Jack has his why right now, but life it changes, so the whys can change and this stuff can change. So that's what I had to learn to be confident about filling these things out. Is like, just get some stuff down. Okay, all right, this makes sense. And then, maybe in a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months, you revisit it and some stuff changes, but it's constantly, it's good. Just get some stuff down, accept and adapt to the changes and just and go with it. Yeah.
Jack, any comments from you?
I just got to say it's so damn powerful to do this. Like, anyways, life is going to happen, right? Like, either we can be a victim to our circumstances of COVID and the government and whatever else is happening around the world, or we can be the creators of our destiny. And this is it, right? It's by doing the business yoga profit playbook and creating the vision. And it's, somebody says we overestimate what we can do in a day or a week, but we underestimate what we can do in a year or a decade. And this is it. This is about planning out the year. And even if we fall a little bit short, but we're working towards something that excites us, that's it. This is we got to be challenging ourselves. This is what it's all about. So this excites me as well. And I can't wait to get started.
Cool. So next Friday, we're going to talk about kind of the next action items. So after you have all your action items, right, how do you actually break them down? So say Jack was saying that he's going to do, he wants a lower ticket product. So then he would actually break that down. Here's my goal. Here's why I'm doing it. And then we're going to actually show you how we would teach people to execute. Like, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you actually start building your business. The rest of the stuff is sort of setting the table, right? And so at the end of next week, we will be going over this third document here on the right. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me, message Jack, leave us a comment wherever you're watching this. Yeah. And thank you, Mr. Happy Jack Yoga, for joining us, and Jason. And if you guys want, you can click the link below this video. You can build your profit playbook. That's these 3 documents. It's recorded. It goes a little bit more in depth with each step. And Jason and I did that, and it's incredibly powerful. So it's the first thing we recommend anyway for people who end up working with us. So get started with that. It's very powerful for you guys. Thanks, everyone.